Hi everyone, as you might guess, this is just another aura stacking guardian using Purposeful Harbinger jewel. But not only it is just level 70 right after killing Kitava and finishing questline, it has already 90% elemental resistances and, with help of Flask, 90% physical damage reduction. But most importantly, it cost me about this much. Yes, one exalted orb is all I spent for this exact character. If you go shopping for jewels, you can see that medium jewel with both heraldry and purposeful harbinger costs already more than single exalted orb. So these are too expensive. Instead, you should look for jewels which have purposeful harbinger, that's the core, and pure might or pure guile or pure aptitude. As you can see, those cost about 40 chaos each. Now I'll show you what these jewels exactly do. As you can see, I have two clusters, one here and one there. The third cluster will be added later, of course. In this cluster jewel, which is just basic large jewel with two jewel sockets, I added one of these jewels I showed you before. This one, Purposeful Harbinger, of course, and Pure Might. Looking at the Pure Might notable, you can see 3 lines, but the most important is the middle one. Purity of Fire has 30% reduced mana reservation. The same goes for Pure Aptitude, which reduces mana cost of Purity of Lightning, as well as Pure Guile. The goal is to have 2 of these for each purity, so you can reduce their mana cost by 100% and have them free. Since I have only 4 jewel sockets available at this moment, I chose double Pure Guile, so they give me 40 dexterity, which helps me at this moment. Later, of course, when I add the third cluster, I will add another Pure Aptitude and Pure Might, so all my 3 purities will cost no mana at all, just like Purity of Ice in this case. You can see Purity of Lightning and Purity of Fire still reserve 8%, but that's just small number. These jewels on top of the reservation I get from passive tree, and items like Alpha's Hole and Ichimonji allow me to reserve all 5 heralds, 3 purities, precision and clarity just from mana. The other 3 auras I use are Hatred, Wrath and Discipline in Prison Guardian, so they get blood magic and they cost me about third of my life. And that's the basic of this build. As I said before, I just leveled up, just killed Kitava. I did 1 or 2 tier 1 maps just for testing. The damage of the cyclone is about 30 to 40,000, which isn't much, but it's enough to get started. I'm also using 6-link Solaris Lorica, which cost me about 15 chaos. They are really cheap. They give you the ability so chaos damage does not bypass energy shield, which will be very useful later, and they allow you to get 6-link Cyclone with something like Infused Channeling, Fortify, Inspiration, Elemental Damage and Energy Shield. I choose Infused Channeling and Fortify to give me extra physical damage reduction, which really helps. Lastly, I choose this ring to curse enemies with elemental weakness. I just have space for this and it quite helps. Other gear at this moment grants me some life and crafted chaos resistances in most cases. As for leveling, you can use Cyclone from level 28 onwards in Tabula Rasa with help of uniques like Gold Rim to boost your resistances. I also suggest using Ornament of the East with Advancing Fortress, because they not only give you hit cap, they also get really good damage increase. From level 58 onwards, you can dual wield Ichimonjis. It gives you 10% mana reduction and increased buff effects on top of another good damage. Finally, at level 68, you can equip Prism Guardian, and that, as I said before, allow you to reserve Hatred and other auras in life instead of mana, so you can start using your Purities, and finally, all 5 Heralds at once. You can also use unique jewel Mantra of Flames. It grants me about 10% more damage for the cost of 1 Chaos Orb, but keep in mind, it will be less effective later after we add more flat damage from things like Anger Aura or Better Weapon. And that's the stage of my character right now. As I said before, I just started mapping and it feels good and it works. For the final version at level something like 80 to 85, of course the price will go a bit higher to something like 2 Exalted Orbs, because you have to count the 3rd cluster jewel and items like Presence of Chaula, which really help with your chaos resistances and grants some extra energy shield. As your energy shield go higher, you can of course get more auras with blood magic support, something like haste and precision, so it will get you to maybe 5% life, and use mana for another auras, something like anger and vitality. And that's about it. This was my character, low budget heralds with really low budget, and I hope you enjoyed my first video. Thank you.